could overtake Chelsea in the table. To discuss is Chris Cowlin, Spurs fan show and author. Chris, good morning. How are you, sir?
Good morning. Very well. How are you doing?
Not too bad. How do you see this game going for Spurs?
A Tottenham win, obviously.
So there we go. Thank you, Chris, for coming on the show. We'll speak to you later.
No, I'll tell you what. We're still less than a month in of Jose Mourinho's management, and we were 12 points adrift of the top four when he came in. He has turned it around. He's got 12 points out of his first 5 Premier League games at Tottenham. Things are on the up. The confidence levels are up, not only with the players but with the fans. Toby Alderweireld signed a new contract this week. Huge news. What a huge win last week at Wolves. It just shows that Tottenham have got character, and we are pushing for that top 4 place. We've had Champions League football for the past 4 seasons. All of us fans now believe that we are a top 4 established side and a top 4 side that gets Champions League football on a regular basis, and that is where we want to be, and that's hopefully where we will be later on today.
I mean, I'm a Chelsea fan, as you probably know, Chris, so I know all about Mourinho, and whilst as I was trying to explain to Mortz earlier on, who thinks that I should be booing him. But
Behave yourself. Behave yourself.
I'm winding you up.
Yeah, well, you've got there.
I know. No, I mean, look, I respect him hugely, mate, and I'll always be grateful for what he brought to Chelsea, which is a lot of trophies. But, he does have this other side to him, and he can be incredibly destructive, as we found as well. So I'm going to ask you how you feel about him turning up at Spurs. Are you worried that it might end in tears, or are you just happy that he might get you over the line for a few trophy wins?
When Pochettino was sacked, I was absolutely distraught and distressed about it. I thought Pochettino was a fantastic manager for us, but the person that I wanted in was Jose Mourinho, and that might surprise a lot of people.
I'm not having it. I'm sorry. Don't get me started. I'm not having it. Listen, I've got loads of my friends are Spurs fans, and 6 weeks ago, they're not having Mourinho. Now he's here, it's like, well, he wins stuff.
Do you know what?
Chris,
I was actually on a Love Sport radio show a couple of weeks before, and I said, if Pochettino gets sacked, Jose Mourinho is the one that I want in.
I believe you, Chris.
Because he gets you over the line, and we need a trophy.
Exactly.
When you think Tottenham haven't won a league title since '61, a European trophy since '84, an FA Cup since '91, and our last actual trophy was the League Cup in 2008. These trophies are so overdue. So whatever Jose Mourinho can bring, trophy will do.
Hold on, Chris.
I believe
this is the thing I can't work out. Been doing Love Sport for the last year or so. About a year ago, I'm listening to all of them, all of the Mike Hazard and all of them, Mabbott saying
players, mate.
All the players sort of saying there's this project that they're on, and by the end of it we'll win something. He knows what he's doing. Every Spurs fan I know has spoken about this project. All of a sudden that project's ripped up because you know what? We just want to win stuff.
Yeah, because we're supporters, mate.
Behave yourself, you.
We
talk
want to
me
win
through
stuff.
it, Chris, you have to talk me through that. Has the principle's gone? Have you sold your soul to the devil?
Look, I go to every single game home and away, and when it is frustrating that Tottenham haven't lifted a trophy in so long, and that is a much needed thing at the club. All of us fans need to see silverware. Now, we thought that we were going to get that with Pochettino. I hoped that we would get that with Pochettino, and if it was my choice, Pochettino would still be our manager now. I would have given him time because of what he achieved at the football club. Certainly over the past 4 seasons, we played away at Wembley. Very, very little investment. We didn't spend money in 500 days. But when you're going to sack a manager like that after what he's achieved, what's next? You're going to bring in a proven winner, someone who's won trophies at every single club. So regardless of what anyone thinks, he has an excellent track record, won trophies everywhere he's gone. So hopefully he will lift a trophy for Tottenham very, very soon.
I'll tell you what, Chris, Mortz is clearly a genius. He's done what no man has ever been able to do before. He's managed to bring together a Chelsea and a Spurs fan in agreement. Unbelievable.
And not got paid for it. I tell you what, Chris, I know what you're saying, and I'm going to give you grief just because it appears you have ripped up any principles they had because now...
don't care if they win something.
Stop talking, you.
But no,
now you just want to win stuff.
if you ask most fans, I don't know any fans who go to the games on a regular basis who wanted Pochettino out. Now, obviously, the board made the decision. The fans didn't make the decision because it would have been totally different. The board made the decision, and then they thought that they wanted the next person to come in to be an instant success. Now, whoever was going to come in, they've got excellent players, they've got an excellent stadium, excellent training facilities, and now we've got an excellent proven manager. So if you put all of those ingredients together, surely we are going to win trophies. But as I say, if you ask every fan, Pochettino, I think, would still be a manager.
OK, Chris, I'm with you. But you've got a manager who, you're only as good as your last club, was terrible at his last club. Divisive and
he's changed.
How many trophies did he win?
Put that to one side. He's bullied players. All of that. And I understand he won 3 trophies, but he's left that club in a mess. And for me, that's my worry. You see, because Spurs have worked really hard to put a system in place, a sustainable system in place for them to produce future players. Okay, Mourinho is not one that promotes young players, for the record. He doesn't do that. So you're looking at a manager who will give you instant results. I have no problem with that. But at what price?
Mourinho had 11 months off, and you have seen the change in him. He was very, very grumpy at Manchester United. He was living out of a hotel in Manchester.
Nice hotel, mind.
That's his choice.
It's never the same. It's never the same. But now he's back in London. He seems very, very happy. We all call him the humble one now. And most importantly, he's getting us results. Now, when he turned up at Tottenham, we were sitting in 14th place. All of the pundits, everybody wrote us off. Even our own fans were writing us off, saying that we would never, ever finish top 4. Now, this afternoon, we could go back into the top 4, getting 4 wins out of his first 5 games. Everyone thought he was going to be parking the bus, playing boring 1-0, win football. We've not had that. We've had highly entertaining football. He's playing a great attacking formation. The likes of Kane, Son, Moura and Ali all playing up front together. It's like being back under Aussie Idealias at times, but it's entertaining football and we are winning football matches, and that is the most important thing.
Tell you what, Chris, honestly, mate, and I can speak from experience here, don't believe a word he says. This leopard will not change his spots. And I think, but don't worry about it. He might win you some trophies. Enjoy it, mate, because that's what it's all about as a supporter. I absolutely get what you're saying there, but I'll tell you something else as well. The minute he gets in with a sniff, I mean, he's on a free pass at the moment, as you just said. He picked you up. You're in 14th. You haven't won anything for years and years and years. He's not bought any players, and the expectations upon him are quite low this season.
I disagree.
Well,
I totally disagree.
Well, okay, nobody expects you to win the Premier League this year. It ain't going to happen. You're clearly not going to win the Champions League. There's all sorts of trophies that you cannot probably win this year. But the minute my point really is that the minute he gets close to winning something significant, you can wave bye-bye to the Aussie Idealias type of football. He will go out to win, and he'll win any way he can. That's why he does win. And that's when you have to reconcile maybe getting some negative football that's not so attacking for winning a trophy.
Well, I think the expectation level is very, very high, actually. I think every Tottenham fan, including myself, is expecting big things from him. When you've got a record like he has of winning trophies at every single club, we are now expecting a trophy to be delivered very, very soon. And I don't know whether you saw the video online over the last couple of days, but Daniel Levy at the staff Christmas party said he wants a couple of presents this year to finish in the top 4 and a trophy. So there's expectation levels, from the board and all of the fans. So if anything, I think he has a lot of pressure on his head at the moment.
I'll be honest with you, I don't know if they're going to be good enough this season. But bear with me, because when we speak about Mourinho, and I said to Mr. Chigi here, I mean, very, very early on in his career, he was called the special one, and then at Man United, he was the unhappy one. At Spurs,
he still won trophies.
At Spurs, he's apparently the humble one. For me, as Chidge has said, I want to see the honest one, because I don't know if we're getting that yet. But what I do want to know is he going to be enough to keep someone like Christian Eriksen at the club, Jan Vertonghen at the club? Because Eriksen is a good player, adamant he wants to leave. How do you think he's going to manage him between now and the end of the season?
I think it's a huge difference of Pochettino going and Mourinho coming in. I think Mourinho had a lot to do with Toby Alderweireld signing this new contract. The fans were absolutely ecstatic this week about Toby Stan at the club because he's a world-class defender on his day. Jan Vertonghen, I think that there's just an issue of how long Tottenham want to keep him at the club and how long they want to give him a contract for. Christian Eriksen, his form this year, this calendar year, has been very, very poor. But I think Jose Mourinho could turn that around, and I think that he would be a big influence in those two signing new deals. But going back to the trophy point this season, I think that Middlesbrough away, that we've got in the FA Cup third round, I think that under Pochettino you would have seen a kind of reserve side for that game. But under Mourinho, I can see that we're going to put a full strength team out for that match and really go for the FA Cup this season.
So you're expecting that they're going to win stuff, that you think that they're going to win the FA Cup possibly. They're not in the
Absolutely.
League Cup, so it's going to be it's all on the FA Cup or nothing then.
I think a top four finish and an FA Cup victory this season would be a very successful season, particularly after the poor start we had.
It's too early, Chris. It's not a one in the year. You know how that works. Maybe next year,
will change all that.
Maybe a year after next. Listen, what do you think about today? I mean, you lot are playing my lot. I've got to be honest with you. I'm a bit worried because we're in a bit of poor form at the moment.
You should be.
Yeah, but I mean, seriously.
Yeah, no, seriously. I think that the confidence is high, as I said earlier. Certainly with the fans and the players. Mourinho's come in and give the players all the confidence now. We play great attacking football, scoring goals. With our forward line, we're always going to score goals in games. The defence slightly worries me. But I'm sure Jose Mourinho in time will sort that. You don't win trophies by having a poor defence. Chelsea are in poor form at the moment. But
better away from home.
Exactly, and it's the first time that Chelsea have visited the brand new stadium. Of course, all of the Jose Mourinho, previous club with Chelsea, etc. It should be a cracking game, and I cannot wait.
Chris, just very quickly, Chelsea have not lost at a new ground from the last 18 times they've been to a new ground, going back to 2001 against Southampton at the St Mary's Stadium.
Oh,
Bodes
really?
well, mate. Bodes well. Unbeaten.
Chris, on that note, mate, you don't even have to answer that one.
Can I just say? Can I just say though?
Go on, my friend.
Chelsea haven't won a single point from a losing position this season. So if Tottenham go 1-0 up, you're in
worried.
trouble.
I'll be in the pub.
Chris, thank you very much, my friend.
Thank you.
Cheers. That's Chris Cowlin from the Spurs Fans Show.
I love it.
Win. Excuse me.